industry to support us making games. We have to act now, and one of the things we're doing is making original games.
Resident Evil 3, the remake, is just about out there in the wild, and it appears to be another great remake from Capcom. Capcom's really just hitting these remakes out of the park. It's got everyone wondering what will be the next Resident Evil remake.
Yes, please. Thank you, Capcom.
Thank you, Capcom.
Thank you, Capcom.
Yes.
You hear the Spanish music, you see the forest, that, you know, we're all shitting our pants.
Last of Us? Last of Us?
The multiplayer for Last of Us 2?
Obviously gonna be excited, obviously gonna play it when it comes out.
We are eating well as Resident Evil fans.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Except in the back of the players' minds, in the back of the developers' minds, there's this quiet, unspoken truth, which is, yeah, but if we're being real here, this is just a cash-in. This is not a legitimate artistic effort.
Of these games that they've been
I don't agree with that sentiment at all. There's no artistic effort in making a remake. That's a very silly sentence. You know what? I'm not gonna eat for this second. Oh, let me take this last sip. That's a very silly thought process on the idea behind most game design, to already imply that simply because something has already existed and you made like a newer, more modern version of it, the artistic effort somehow wasn't there, or there's no effort put into it entirely. I got to adjust for this guy. Oh, thank you, Crimson. Thank you. I think it's an ignorant thing to say when something has no artistic effort simply because a previous version of it has already existed. And implying that the people who worked on a new thing, just there's no effort, we're doing this for the money, is silly. RE4, the remake, even RE9, even though that's not a remake, some of the most beautifully, like beautiful visual games in recent memory. The visuals, the environments, the graphics, they're all amazing. But the same thing with the RE4 OG. They're both amazing and they're right. And RE4 Remake is chocked full of detail. And to imply that, oh, it's just a cash grab, that's a silly thing to say. Because to be honest, if you guys want to be honest, Capcom doesn't need the money. They don't need to do remakes. You guys know Capcom made fucking Street Fighter, right? Like, do people... I don't get that sentiment because it doesn't make any sense. You guys know Capcom made Street Fighter, right? Does anybody know that? The Resident Evil series is one of the best-selling series, like horror series, on the planet. All of the movies, despite, you know, what we all joke around and shit like that, I think they've probably grossed over $1 billion in total. So this implication that Capcom is so pressed for ideas and emotionally and creatively stunted to the point where they're like, all right, let's just make a remake of something that worked is silly, because the RE2 remake did really well. RE5 did really well. Like, RE7 did really well. RE9 already outsold most of the games in their first like week or month of existing. So I think when people say these things, and this is why I say people in the gaming community are so dramatic that they talk in absolutes. There's no room for nuance with some of the things that they say or do or experience. Capcom is one of the biggest gaming companies on the planet. They have they've made Monster Hunter. That's how, like, there is an entire ecosystem, a fan base that makes millions of dollars that a lot of people on the Western side of things, I'm not saying nobody in America plays Monster Hunter, that exists. I visited Japan. There's an entire section dedicated to Monster Hunter. You've rarely seen Resident Evil shit there. It's mostly Monster Hunter. That's how big they are. They exist. There are sections and games and communities within Capcom. So to imply, oh yeah, this is a cash grab. That's a silly implication. Like, Capcom doesn't need remakes to stand. That's all I'm gonna say about that. You know, I don't know if I should just watch the whole thing fully through and then pause, but I might just go for whatever my gut's telling me.
This is probably one that doesn't need to really be remade.
When I first heard about remaking RE4, my first impression was that since the original is a masterpiece, a remake would be difficult, so I didn't want to do it.
4, it's like a sharp dagger. You see how the original, where it just has like a roughy, gritty edge to it, you can just see the difference when it comes to the creativity and originality.
The remake is soulless compared to this. It really is. It's forgettable, and it feels like they found the formula and they're just like, okay, now we could just remake anything we want. They're about to use that same formula to remake Code Veronica, RE5. They're just gonna do that shit until they've gotten as much as they can out of that engine.
Well, we could, you know, we can make Resident Evil 4 Remake. What's the problem? And I think once upon a time, instead of making
Resident Evil 4,
people made
Resident Evil 4.
Once upon a time, they made things. For the first time, they made really impressive things. Once upon a time.
I've worked on a number of Resident Evil titles in the past, and honestly,
I just don't get that. You're implying that it's not impressive because it's already existed. What about RE9? What about RE8? RE9 did the whole nostalgia bait in the second half. That could be criticized. But to imply that you're not so impressed because it already existed is silly. Because the RE4 remake was a lot of people's introductions to Resident Evil. I don't know if people want to hear that. A lot of people were introduced to it between that because of the modern controls and the modern settings. And there are new Resident Evils coming out. Not everything is a remake. It would be a lane to criticize if Capcom literally never made just Street Fighters, never made, Monster Hunter, never made any other new Resident Evil mainline entry and just kept making remakes. But that's not the case. A lot of people, and this is where it turns back to what makes somebody a fan. There are a lot of people in the Resident Evil community that are super fans that aren't big fans of the tank controls of the old games or the more blockier controls of the old games. A lot of the old games are really harsh playing wise on newer modern users. So we're just going to finish. We're going to see what this person has to say.
I think the series had been recycling the same patterns, the same gameplay each time. The creators were starting to get bored with it, and many moved to other projects. So I spoke to Mikami-san, the director, and we talked about reshaping the series and winning back the fans, as well as winning over new fans who thought they would never play a Resident Evil game. So, in order to revitalize the series, we've given it a complete makeover.
For its time, it was the total game changer. They still make games copying what that game reinvented.
When the original came out, one of the biggest factors was how fresh the mechanics were. We knew from the start that in today's landscape, it wouldn't be possible to duplicate that. We never set that as a goal. Instead, our goal was to implement evolutions that have occurred since the original was released.
This rework has been simply titled Resident Evil 4, as if to say that this is the definitive edition of the game. But there's the problem. The definitive edition is, by that definition, the one that defines a work as an influence.
Again, you're just writing implications with no direction. You're acting like the new one is the definitive one. Nobody said that. The old one is the original. The new one is just a revamped, modernized version of it. Like, this is what I mean. People are being so all right, let me just finish.
The one that
it's
people
just
will
so
think of
it's
when
just
they think
so
of its name.
dramatic.
Left 4 Dead, yo. Booyah!
No, man. Resident Evil 4 takes it by a long shot.
Would anyone bother to remake this remake?
Is the action still there? Is the atmosphere and kind of like the more goofy elements of Resident Evil 4 still in there? And it's all in there.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah. They just take the IP, the aesthetics, the branding of Resident Evil 4, and then they graft it on this lame Last of Us style ripoff with parries and stealth sections, and there we go. We did it. We remade the game.
It's a flicker. Yo, it really is The Last of Us. That's wild.
It has all these different individual elements pulled from all these different sources. Then they're just kind of thrown into a blender. This is millennial game design, and that is your game.
Oh, I hate the gaming community. I hate it. I genuinely wonder what people want. I like popcorn, thank you. I genuinely wonder what people want when they talk about new ideas and innovation, because I hate to say this to some of you guys. Great games, right, often come from inspirations. That's the whole point of game dev, games in general. You're going to be pulling ideas from other games. That is how game dev works. It's why now every game is an over-the-shoulder action shooter because of Resident Evil 4. Those developers modernized that, right? Because The Last of Us doesn't play like the original RE4. I wonder why. Because it is a product. Saying RE4 is timeless, but then saying, but all the other games are just products of their time. It's redundant. RE4 OG, no matter how great it is also a product of its time. Because you have the upskirt shots, you have Leon one-liners, you have Leon being misogynistic, you have the clunky gameplay in certain moments. But that doesn't exist anymore. Because other game devs seen the over-the-shoulder, the greatness of it, extracted it, and put more on top of it. The same thing the remake is doing. I don't get why people are so... Are you going to be playing any games? Yes, Crimson. I don't get why people are so like they're willing to die on this hill that, well, since RE4 Remake pulled from other games and it's clearly not a great... Every game does that. Every single game does that. There is one game company that makes a masterpiece, and other game companies look at it and they're like, "Oh wait, we can pull some different things from this. We can see how they did this. We can pull." Grand Theft Auto, right, existed. So now we have Saints Row, Sleeping Dogs, the Yakuza games pull from that, etc., etc. Paradise City. There. Oh, hi Beans. Hello. Beans. Hi Beans. Hello. It's a silly thing to say. Well, clearly the game's not. I'm 100% sure that GTA 6 has ideas that they pulled from other games. That's just how it is. Red Dead Redemption has survival-based mechanics. Am I gonna be like, fucking Red Dead Redemption 2, you can eat, Arthur can lose and gain weight? Am I gonna be like, what is this, the fucking Sims? Rockstar totally took that from the Sims. No, because I'm not fucking stupid. I'm not, like, that's a dramatic thing to talk about. This idea that games cannot be an amalgamation of other ideas from other developers is so silly. Tomb Raider inspired Uncharted. And then you know what did? You know what happened? And now the new modern Tomb Raiders take from the Uncharted game. That's just how storytelling works. It's the same thing with books and movies. You ever seen certain shots in certain movies? You know how, like, Sinners won an Oscar. Sinners won multiple Oscars. One battle after another won multiple Oscars. Am I going to be like, well, one battle after another, there was a homage to this one old movie in one battle after another, or there's a tracking shot in Sinners and it's obviously a homage to this, or Sinners is like From Dusk Till Dawn. So I can't give Sinners any awards because the story kind of gives me Dusk Till Dawn vibe. That sounds fucking insane. That's how art works. Art pulls from different ideas. That's like me going outside, painting a picture of the park and saying, well, I'm not a real artist. I just painted something that already fucking existed. A picture of a park. That's not how a lot of people live into some type of lane of just facts and no nuance to the point where they'll break their own brains because they so desperately want to seem intelligent. People cry and bitch and moan about innovation, and then when you look at innovation and actual new shit, you're like, well, this isn't impressive. This is just a rehash of this. Yeah, motherfucker, 100 years ago, you couldn't fly airplanes, and now, 100 years later, you can. Did the people who made jets, like for the military and shit, did they look at the Wrigley brothers and said, well, they already made an airplane. I mean, what the fuck? Like, I don't know no, that's not how innovation works. You innovate off of what already existed. Because you want to know how games looked 50 fucking years ago? You want to know how it looked 50 years ago? It looked like this. Oh yeah, but somebody already made tennis. Tennis and ping pong already fucking existed. So I guess I'm not gonna make. That's why I always say people in the gaming community are so dramatic. They don't know. This is why a lot of people in the art industry, whether it's video games, well, I'm gonna exclude video games to this one point, whether it's movies or TV shows or whatever, or painters and writers, they look down on gaming because people within the gaming community are so brain broken on their own like pseudo intellectualism that they don't understand how the process of how things are made. Game developers understand a process of how things are made. It's about creating a new, fresh idea, of course, writing a decent story, getting gameplay loops right, like done, like the artificial intelligence of the AI of the enemies, the environmental design. I know all of this stuff because I actually studied these things. And sometimes, like with animations, just like this, I'll give you a perfect example. RE4 and RE5 have almost the exact same attack and fight animations. You guys know that. RE4 and RE5 have the exact same animations when it comes to certain death scenes, certain attacks, certain punches and kicks. Everybody knows that, right? That's like me looking at RE5 and being like, hey, they just pulled animation from RE4. Why does it even exist? That would be stupid as shit. Because game dev, that's how it works. It works off optimizing things already in place. To imply that there's no artistic merit in that means that not only are you ignorant to the process of what it takes to create art, but you have this superiority over, well, I just don't think it's innovative. It's like I watch a artist paint on a canvas and I'm like, well, you didn't make the canvas yourself, so why should I give a fuck about what you put on it? It becomes a thing of you smelling your own farts because you don't know how something works. It automatically gets discredited by you. And that's the main issue that I have with a lot of people in the gaming gaming community. A lot of you guys, I'm not talking about you guys, but a lot of people who do, and I say this with so much respect, are fucking ignorant to a lot of things, and it leads to you saying things that don't make any sense to anybody who works in the industry. All right? And I'm just going to say that. And that's what I'm trying to say. Games take pieces and ideas from other games. A lot of mechanics that you guys are going to see in the new future games wouldn't exist if Grand Theft Auto never exists. Same thing for Resident Evil. Same thing for Dead Rising. Same thing for Dead Space. Dead Space 2. Like, it's... I don't know why people are so, like, against that. It's just so many people are so nostalgia broken that they think the past and all of those new things, right, are somehow just so much better. It's not. RE4 was inspired by, the original RE4 was inspired by like the James Bond action flicks am I gonna be like, well, RE4 sucks because it's based off classic action movies and Leon doing the quips and the one-liners and shit like that? No, because that's fucking stupid. That would be a stupid thing to say. RE4 OG is inspired by those movies, those ideas. Some of the gameplay loops are also inspired by other things that existed in gameplay. Come on, man. People got to do better when it comes to critiques like this. I'm willing to listen, but some of these conversations are just set in bad faith. I can easily just point out everything that's inspired by something and be like, oh, well, this is inspired by this, so it's automatically... That's not how you have conversations. But, we'll continue.
What is this? I mean, the chainsaw guy was the marquee villain of RE4. He's on the cover. You can't just trivialize the guy who's supposed to strike terror in your heart by Sekiro dinging his ass off you with a knife.
The chainsaw guy in the original is literally the easiest person to stun. You can literally just knock him out with a shotgun and keep knocking him out with a shotgun. He's literally just a base enemy with a one-hit kill attack. Chainsaw guy in the game, very hard to stun. And yeah, you can parry him, but it automatically breaks your knife most of the time if you're not fully upgraded. And it still insta-kills you. And these are the things I'm saying. These are the things I'm saying. Like, people just say things.
Putting that lifeline in place where it's like, oh, we know we can block the chainsaw. We know we can block it, so we're not scared of it anymore. It takes away the tension. Whereas in this, you know you're going down when that chainsaw guy gets close. There's a sense of tension there.
Oh, what up, Mayor?
Come on, Capcom. Like, really? You ain't even gotta route your enemies no more. You don't need to do all that. All you gotta do is pop up LB to stop every single monster in the game.
You still have to route enemies in the remake. Oh my, like, what are you talking? The combat has gotten enhanced. It's gotten just upgraded. What do you mean? You don't have to reroute your enemies. What does that mean? Like, what are you talking about? That's not a fair critique. The combat just changed with the times. It's a new thing added. Professional, you have to get perfect parries. You're not going to parry anything at all anyway. Like, you can still die in the game.
Increase the durability of the knife, and then do it again. So many knives.
I mean, they give you so many knives. It makes you wonder why even have durability if you're gonna have so many knives.
Oh, I have 2 more knives, you scrub. I didn't know I had so many knives.
In addition to that, the chainsaw guy in the original game, it's quick, it's sudden. There's no fucking like, let me rev this chainsaw up, 10-second fucking little death scene animation.
That's not even a, you're mad that the animation takes a little long. Okay.
No, your head's chopped off, you're fucking dead. Boom, out of nowhere. That
Okay.
was the beauty of that.
All right, man.
So they just don't understand. They don't get it.
They've managed to suck all the character out of the UI of this game. The menus in the original RE4 had way more character, dirty, rusty, reflecting the game's environment. Now the UI has this cold, clean, empty, minimalist look, which doesn't suit the game. And even judged on those terms, it really lacks a sense of style.
You no longer get to see some cool animations.
The fire.
Brother, the animations now are baked into the gameplay. The game is filled with different animations. Idle animations, every enemy poses a different way, no matter where you shoot them. Body degradation. Like, the visuals are now in the game. The visuals are the game. And like everything in this game, RE4 Remake has a shit ton of detail baked into it. That's why it's like 80 fucking gigabytes. Like, what are you talking about?
Lack the photographic detail that made them feel personalized in the original.
The whole screen would transition into an engaging piece of art for us to absorb ourselves into.
You'd go into a certain room, and before you even knew what was in that room, you'd have that safe room music.
Oh, there's no
The
save.
menus aren't rusty, so the game
Ending
is
a chapter
awful.
used to have this unhinged, jittery text matching the crazy, macabre events unfolding, and cool blocks of writing on top of a bright, washed-out picture that made it look like
Oh
some
my
weird old
God.
case file being displayed on a projector.
They didn't get it. There's no character. No one's remembering that in 15 years. Forgettable, clinical.
I don't remember the end credits from RE4 OG. I don't remember that. I don't care. Like, what do you mean nobody's, what critique does that, what does that even mean? Bro, what does that mean? Nobody's looking at the OG end credits and being like, I'm gonna remember this in 15 fucking years. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? Oh my, like, what does that mean? That's not a substantial critique. That's not how you critique art. Nobody's gonna remember that. Like, see, look at the end credits. There's nothing there. I don't remember any of the pictures of the end credits from the OG, and I love the OG. That's not a substantial thing to critique. That's weird.
Lack of any individuality. It's like a soulless corporate entity made this shit.
Coming in this section didn't give me the feeling that someone took the time to design any of this. No.
You don't. Hold on. That's rage bait. Hold on. Before I get. Nobody took the time to design. Come on, bro. Come on, y'all. I'm trying to be fair when it comes to this reaction. By the way, what up, Mickey, and what up, Mayor? I'm trying to be fair when it comes to this video, but come on, y'all. Come on, man. Come on, man. And this is what I mean when a lot of people don't know how game design works. I can give an example. There are things that you can critique and say, you know what? I think this game, the gameplay loop wasn't well done, and I think this, and that. And I think there are some companies or maybe some areas where you could lay it down like, you know what? I think they should have worked harder on this aspect. Do your lashings. But this is funny because this is literally the worst example of the case. Like, there is no Resident Evil game that I can say looks bad. Especially this. Come on, man. Come on, bro. To imply, oh, there's no heart behind it because I've seen it before. That sounds. I'm not gonna. It sounds silly. I was gonna say it sounds fucking stupid. I already said it, fuck it. But it sounds so silly. Because it implies there's no passion behind it. There is a lot of passion behind game design that people often overlook. And I think that's what they're mistaking as, oh, it's lazy. Because to you, it looks easy. It's just like I said, I keep bringing up movies. Because I work on, movies can take 7 to 8 months to make. 30-second scenes, minute-long scenes can shoot for 8 hours. So I know, and game design takes years. It takes years. It takes years to make a game. It takes a very long, that's what I'm trying to say. To imply that there's no, oh yeah, there's no, it's just lazy. What are you talking? And then when you ask somebody what they mean, what do you mean by that? Explain exactly what you mean. How is this room lazy? If you can explain to me everything that goes on in this room, I'll be like, you know what? Okay, fair. But to imply that, oh yeah, I can just whip this. I'm gonna just, matter of fact, I'm gonna download Blender right now. We're gonna whip this room up in 15 minutes. Shut the fuck up. I don't mean to be, oh man. All right.
Give me the feeling that someone took the time to design any of this. No aesthetics to it whatsoever. it is just realism. At least it's, you know, just just realism.
What does that mean?
And this is when I also knew, yeah, this is like RE8. You know, like that's the first thing I thought of.
When you turn on a game, you see a bunch of stuff. Some of it you'll recognize. And then there are the things that make you go,
Megascans is one of the largest libraries of high-quality 3D assets. They're used in everything, from video games to movies, and there's over 14,000
If you critique Megascan,
assets.
let me just...
It just feels way more generic. It feels like every other Resident Evil.
Games since like 2002 have been using Megascans. I don't know if nobody knows this. Megascans have existed within games since like the early 2000s. This reads like somebody who just looked up what it is to verify a bias that they had about it. What the like? What does that mean? Like, there are videos. I used to love watching old how it's made video game videos. You ever see those devs fly out to different countries to take pictures? Hey guys, I'm Mark Murphy, and I'm going to tell you a lot about game development. That's what Megascans are. That's the same thing. The game devs that take those pictures, those textures and shit like that, they have to match the text. You want to know what they do with those pictures? You want to know? They put them into the game. My goodness. Oh my God. How will you call yourself a musician and you take your beats from fucking Audio Garage? What are you, stupid? You know what I do? I'm gonna go outside and I play tambourines into my microphone. That's how I... What the fuck are you talking...
Game where 4 felt so distinctive.
It's right there. The team spent 11 days in photographing items. Yes, for use in textures because they scanned the textures into the fucking... They mega scan... You just verified what I just said. They scanned it into the game. This... I feel like I'm getting rage baited. This video better be a twist.
Across the top of the Great Hall there.
Hey, Mr. Beast here. Today we're gonna buy every item in this store. Let's do it.
Resident Evil 4 will soon be getting the full modern Capcom facelift.
What are we doing? What are we doing? All these games.
All right, hold on. Same sound effect. Same sound effect. Same sound effect. Oh, you see that? He ducked. All of these, same fucking animations. All of them are the same animations. All of them are the same animations. All of them are the same animations. Everything is the same animations. The point, it's the same animations. It's the same thing. Every game company does these things. Every single one of them. They do the same animations to save on asset data. You wanna know why? Because it saves time and money. Why would they spend more money and more resources making something that they already have readily available to them? I beat hello. My cat comes in here every time she hears me yelling. This is my calming cat. It's the same thing. The do they have the deaf animations? Because I want to show you guys. That same neck twisty thing that Chris does in the fucking thing. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, they don't have it. Same thing. Same animation. This is Red Dead Redemption. You use assets from San Andreas. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, that's gaming. Like, a lot of people don't, like, I understand from the outside looking in, I get it. But at the same time, bro, that's gaming. Games now take years, bro. I'm okay, Beans. Games now take years. Like, why would they waste their time doing a different specific animation for like the pistol? It's the same sound effects. It's the same everything. The enemies duck down, that little duck shit they do, that little like twisty. I want to find that specific animation. Or for, hi Beans. Beans, don't thing the chair. Don't thing the chair. Okay, she's gonna do it anyway. All right, that's fine. That's chill. It's the same animations. That little explosion animation. It's my favorite one because Chris does it too. But you guys know what I mean anyway. Who cares? Anyways.
Asset flips, dude. It's like literally the same thing.
The village in the original game had this really stark, empty, desolate ghost town feel to it that really was unnerving and eerie. Instead, what they went with the remake is that it's overgrown and cluttered.
It looks pretty linear. Like, when I mean linear, I mean super linear. Despite the old one being linear, it still felt that if...
What does that mean? Yo, this shit linear. The old one's pretty linear too, but something's more linear about this one. Something's a little bit more, something's different about this. What the fuck?
It still felt pretty open, you know, and it still felt like you could go anywhere. Despite you couldn't, it still looked and felt like you could go anywhere.
It felt too boxed in and way too cluttered.
And that's kind of the go-to plan for the remake is whenever we want to make something scary, let's just make it cluttered, dark, and bloody. That'll do the trick.
And they're shoving it down your throat. They're shoving it down your throat. Every freaking piece of this game is blood everywhere. Let's plaster blood everywhere in terms of the aesthetics and in terms of just overdoing it. In the original, you go into the village and you don't really know what the fuck's going on. There's one scene where, you know, the lady's hung up by the pitchfork, but that's basically it until you get to the chainsaw guy.
And part of the mystery of this game is finding out what these new enemies are. I can't say that they are not zombies.
It looks like the people may carry out their lives like ordinary people. They even read books. Yeah.
The people in this house eat like normal humans.
Huh, they use toilets. Guess they're at least somewhat civilized. I mean, they are human, as far as we're aware, right?
In the process, you'll find out who these people are and why they're doing what they're doing.
There's a build-up to it, and there's a build-up to it in a way that makes sense. This is coming right out of the gate with stupid shit.
No fucking way.
In the original, the reason why the chainsaw guy was scary because he looked more human. In this, it's just like fucking like dinosaur eyes. It looks stupid. It's fake.
It feels so Halloween-y. Sacrificial lambs.
There's something.
Man, this game's too realistic. There's something too. The realism about it is too crazy. I don't know, man. It's just. It's a different look into the culty village, and now it's just Halloween-y. What do you guys want? Like, these are just. We're gonna continue on.
Far more unnerving about the villagers' lack of acknowledgement in the original RE4.
This is the beginning of the game?
They're just shoving it right in your face. Oh, this is spooky, you know? Let's remind the gamer that this is spooky.
When trying out this new camera, there was a lot of trial and error, seeing how close to or how far from the character would work the best.
You cannot move and fire at the same time, nor can you strafe from side to side as you can in a typical shooter. This dynamic has an exceptional way of heightening tension, since your foes love to try to surround you.
Whereas now with the remake and its generic third-person aiming, you're never wondering what's behind you. You know what's behind you. You can just start aiming at all directions.
You can reload mid-reposition while angling the camera to keep an eye on the enemy.
I'm constantly like rotating the camera and checking where I'm like, what's behind me.
You don't have that whole risk-reward system of having to manage what's creeping up behind you.
Before, you were trapped in this cramped space with an unpredictable monster who would dip around all over the place.
It's a gameplay limitation. And those days are over. Okay? It is a gameplay limitation that doesn't exist anymore. It was the biggest complaint in OG. And it was the biggest complaint when 5 came out. People complained about that. When 5 came out, I don't know if you remember, Mayor, people complained about it. They were like, oh, we still got to stand and shoot? People complained about that. And that changed in 6. And it changed in 7. And now it's been like that ever since. Okay? Jesus Christ. Like, it's not, that doesn't make it the greatest game of all time. Like, and that's why the combat has gotten enhanced. That's why they upgraded the combat to at least match the difficulty, so it wouldn't just fucking be, oh yeah, you stand still and you pop shit, and that like that's perfect thing. Yeah, I lived it. That was a huge complaint. Why is this guy saying it's a lost art? That's what I'm saying. This is the thing. The gameplay limitation allowed for a lot more enemies to swarm you. That's a gameplay design, because now you have to pop and shoot, so you have to be more strategic when you shoot. Whatever. But now, since you do that, that's why Capcom has upped the enemy aggression and condensed the areas, because now you can move and shoot and reload and shit like that. That's a gameplay thing. We're gonna continue this video. We're gonna continue this video. That's why there's a lot more open areas in the OG, because you have to walk somewhere, stand and shoot. Compared to the remake, it's condensed, so it's a lot more intense, and the enemies are a lot more aggressive because you can move and shoot. Okay? All right? Yes.
Chaotically. The camera system never quite allowing you to keep track of him at all times. Now the edges are sanded off and it's less intense, less...
No, don't worry, guys. The game had a shit camera because it was on purpose. That was a game. Bro, games back then all had camera issues. That was the main complaint about every reviewer had. Like, it's just camera issues and shit like that. We just learned to accept it with the times until a developer figured it out. A lot of games had camera problems. Thank you, RGGo, for following. I'm gonna lose the game, baby. A lot of games had the camera problems. Jesus Christ. FOV and everything. Yes. Yes. Fuck. Like, this is so frustrating because I was alive we were all alive at that time. Like, so I'm like, what was there an alternate reality where we all just, like, bro, these were all jokes we told, like, yeah, the camera kind of stuff. Like, that's, what the fuck?
Memorable.
Plus, with a narrower view, there's more tension, and by being up close, it's easier to feel like you're right there in the game.
It is not the way it is because it's an old game and the designers didn't know any better. It isn't outdated just because it isn't like every newer game.
But the RE4 OG was like every newer game of its time, minus the behind the shoulder. That's what I'm trying, like...
普通の TPS と今で言う TPS とも違うBut nowadays there's this assumption that adding features to make a game more in line with modern audiences' expectations automatically makes it better.
Now when he runs, he has this weird sort of delay or inertia. He doesn't have precision in his movement. There's this heaviness, awkwardness to it where you're never quite fully in control of Leon's movement. And then on top of that, there's a lot of gun sway and there's a lot of imprecision with your aiming in terms of actually lining up and firing.
Because you're moving while you shoot! Because you can move while you shoot! So there has to be a level of... I'm calm. I can be trusted. I can be trusted with with myself, guys. Don't worry, I'm calm.
Wow, how did that hit the box, dude?
Excuse me?
Holding down while aiming for a few moments will increase the accuracy and chance of a critical hit.
Like, did you see that?
Sometimes shot will stagger.
That was my
sometimes
clip.
they don't.
Mayor, did you give him commitment?
Dude, I kicked this guy and shot him in the head 4 times, and he's alive.
That's spicy.
What are you making?
I was in an ad.
Dude. Wow, how did that hit the box, dude?
Excuse me?
Holding down while aiming for a few moments will increase the accuracy and chance of a critical hit.
Like, did you see that?
Sometimes shot will stagger, sometimes they don't.
Are you kidding me?
Drop the girl.
But it happened to me too.
Dude, I kicked this guy and shot him in the head
That's
4
spicy.
times, and he's alive. What are you made of?
Furthermore, stuns come in the forms of so much fuckery in this game.
That hit me? No shot. Why is it so tanky?
Somebody can walk in a window, and if you're near that person when they climb in the window, you will get stunned.
Why can't I stun him jumping out the window?
The gameplay, it's not Resident Evil 4 gameplay. Like, I don't know what they were, like, Resident Evil 6 is more akin to Resident Evil 4 than this, because it is more action arcade.
They knew the fundamentals of what makes a game feel good.
You can lure enemies to a door, push a dresser in front of it to block them, and then shoot through the door to buy yourself more time.
It's literally in the manual. It's in the hints section. You can shoot enemies through wooden doors.
Ashley, get in the room. Get in the room. Run. Where are you going?
Hey,
In the originals, she's as easy to work with as AI companions come.
Shut the fuck up. All right, like now. RE4, the biggest meme was Ashley, her AI. But since this is, oh yeah, RE4 Remake sucks, that now people are going to pretend that all of a sudden she was a perfect figure to maneuver and manage. Sure. I like, come on, bro. I genuinely don't know what they. Oh yeah, RE4 felt more arcade-like because that's why RE6 is at least better. Like this is an RE4 gameplay. It's revamped gameplay. It's been upgraded because if it was the same fucking gameplay, people are gonna be like, well, what the fuck is the point of this remake? The weapons sway and the weapons aren't as accurate and it's people playing on like professional mode. Professional, everybody knows the hardest difficulties in every Resident Evil is the meme difficulties. They make stuns a lot less common. The aiming is a lot more difficult. That everybody knows that. Sure, the stuns in RE4 were a little bit few in between. They were a lot more harsher if you're playing on hardcore and above. But if you're playing on normal, it plays like it's still OG. RE4 is better in specific ways. Like I think QuickTime Events OG were way better than Remake. They were quicker, better animated. I can semi agree with that. I think the Remake did a lot of the animations, like the attack animations were like way better. And I think the parry system was such a great thing. Can you give me a sub? No. But and I'm not saying the OG RE4 sucked in like those ways, but I'm saying people act like everything the remake did was just an abandonment of the fucking what Resident Evil was. And if you want to be honest, Resident Evil 4 was an abandonment of what the original REs were. RE1, 2, and Nemesis. The tank controls. The fixed camera angles. What are you guys talking about? They play almost nothing like that grid inventory. What are you guys talking about? I don't get that level of criticism because it's just different. RE4 Remake is different. It's different. It's a lot more difficulty. It's a lot more difficult than what you're probably used to. And that's just the facts of the matter. They wanted to modernize it.
She stays right behind Leon, and the camera even zooms out so that you don't lose sight of her.
Wait, follow me.
Alright, Ashley, wait here. No, Ashley, stay up here. With me. Oh my god, please don't. No problem. They're making me take her through the fucking maze.
You can no longer freeze her in place. Instead,
because she's needed for some of these events, and her following you makes it a lot more harder. It makes the game more challenging. Yeah. You can also just have her hide in some of the lockers that are
you can only change the
placed around the
distance she
game.
follows you from.
Bro, how can you not run past? You're actually too slow.
All right,
And you can only change the distance she follows you from.
Bro, how
equip the Western
can you
kid not
not
asking
run
to hold her
past?
own just fine. Facts.
You're actually too slow.
You okay?
Yeah.
Because you have so much less control over her, and there always tends to be a gap of some kind between you, she naturally gets into more trouble.
Ashley, don't walk in front of the shotgun. And too bad none of these. Hey, Ashley, get your ass over here. Oh god.
She artificially stuck to you like a magnet and could wait or hide away whenever you tell her to on a moment's notice, which is why whenever she gets hurt or gets captured in the original game, it's mainly your fault for not positioning her correctly.
No, wait, guys, you don't understand. The AI in Ashley in the original fucking sucks because it's your fault. Even though that's been like a global fucking complaint about Ashley in the OG, that her AI fucking sucks, and everybody knows that. But they just learn to work with it. But yeah, if she get, it's kind of your fault. It's people like reimagining the past. I remember this. This is so weird.
Ashley, get back in the fucking locker. Ashley! Oh, fuck.
Ashley!
I don't like about the inventory. I mean, its inventory. OG inventory is so much cooler in my opinion. Remakes are a lot more simple and basic. That's a fair criticism, but
I'm not even. I didn't even.
Like, I'm just talking about just the overall gameplay. But I think people, it's okay to nitpick, but it's.
Wait.
What the fuck was that about?
Are they behind me?
You're always wondering, wait, is something behind me? Is something behind me? Is something behind me?
Check them behind me.
It's the way the camera system creates that effect. And what's also beautiful about it is the art direction of the castle complements that. It is brightly lit. It is beautiful. It is ornate. And yet, something's off. Something is wrong. But that wrongness is subtle and disturbing. So what did they do with the remake? They turned it into a generic horror show.
Blatant, like, fucking, like, oh yeah, this is spooky.
Fog does not equal scary. I don't know what's up with modern remakes always have to add fog, and their fog is, like, overdone.
Instead, they just add shadows and smoke and red light and blood and writing on the walls and, oh, isn't that
This video
so
came
scary?
out 3 hours ago.
Is Resident Evil 4 Remake scarier than the original?
Of course. A little bit.
I think it's the opposite. In the original, Leon would make jokes only in cutscenes and comms calls, so all of the cheesiness was confined to
Hey, Nice Toast. Hello. What does that mean? Most of the comms calls took up a good chunk of the gameplay.
intermittent cutscenes and comms calls.
Does Leon still say, and I quote, "I knew you'd be fine if you landed on your butt"?
In the remake, the cutscenes and comms calls are a lot more serious in tone. However, the remaining 95% of the game is punctuated by continuous quips and jokes from Leon while we were in the middle of combat.
Kill me for the repairs later. I am flattered, but I'm a one-lady type of guy. Sorry, you're not my type.
So what's the difference? What are you talking about? Why is that a bad thing? Like, that's what I mean, man. Like, well, why is that a bad thing? What am I? You just said, oh yeah, in the OG, he also talks a lot of shit. in the comms calls and the cutscenes. But in this game, this time, he does it in the gameplay. I don't.
Watch where you're swinging those things. Guess your tap dancing days are over. God damn, you're a big boy.
And you want to know, Leon does use quips during the gameplay in the OG, but only in the interactables. Like when you click on an enemy that's like dead or somebody's blah blah blah. Like when that girl had that pitchfork in her head. Oh, at least there's no like some shit. I forgot what he said about like equality or some shit. Like he just doesn't verbally say any of these things, but he says it in the interactables. But are they gonna use that as a good faith comparison? No. Because then they can't make the video, guys. You guys don't understand. They can't make the video if they do that. Guys, you don't understand. They can't make the video if they're just honest about certain things. Is that Leon is capable of equipping in gameplay, but limitations of the OG don't allow him to say that. Exactly. There's so many limitations in old games. At least there's no discrimination in this village. Exactly. Who do you think Leon should have married? I don't know, man. I don't care about that right now. I'm talking about this. But
Worms too?
like, there's limitations with the voice lines.
What?
And
You got worms too?
No food for you. Ah, the entertainment. I guess this is their idea of a warm welcome. Not bad, right? Hi there. You okay?
What can I say? Dogs like me.
Think you can swallow me whole, huh? You guys are really starting to become a giant pain in my ass. Wow, Ramon, you are really slacking on your pest control. That's your true power? Oh, I'd ask for a refund. Present for you. Jesus.
What?
Cuddly bastard.
I don't get it.
Son of a bitch.
My point is that these stupid voice lines undermine the atmosphere completely. And
So wait, his voice lines undermine the atmosphere, but him telling Ashley she should have landed on her butt, no thanks, bro. Like the upskirting, you can look up Ashley's skirt. That doesn't undermine the like what? Why are you guys being very biased about these things? It's either one or the other. People are being very weird about how they feel about the remake, and they literally will nitpick shit that can easily be refuted, and it's so weird. What are you talking about?
due to their frequency, make getting immersed in the horror practically impossible.
You're Ramon's lapdog.
Makes getting immersed in the horror practically impossible. Immersed in the horror. Leon and Krauser had a like 5-minute quick time event cutscene where they had a fucking knife battle. I'm supposed to be talking about getting immersed in like literally before you meet you three. Leon makes a joke about Sadler, like, oh, you know, old age perhaps. He makes that joke like 5 minutes into it. What do you got? Like, shut up. Hey, Jumbo, thank you for following.
Sorry, must have slipped. Eat this. Looks like it's gonna take more than that. So we're playing hide and seek, is that it?
Oh, there's a window. We can't go through the window? What the hell? But it's got tape on it.
I haven't seen any yellow marked barrels yet. Oh, is that yellow jizz or is that just hay?
For our game designers, affordance is a great way to communicate to the player what they can interact with or where they can go. It's not a single color that's important. It's using consistent color and shapes in the context of the environment.
I get it. Cheer up, Crowbcat. You taking notes?
Instead, why don't we literally paint lines in the level that the players can follow, even though it looks absolutely absurd?
I don't know what like research and data they found from players, but clearly someone suggested to Capcom like they need more guidance. They get upset when they get lost and frustrated, and then they have a tendency to not continue playing. And that's why Capcom has plastered this game with nothing but
the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Thanks for the yellow paint. Never would have thought to walk up here.
I've seen some dumb sections where it's like, why is the yellow paint there? Like, is the player that stupid?
Fight them off. Okay.
We are aiming to create a Resident Evil 4 that everyone can enjoy, so please look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Why didn't you show the laser, bro? Why didn't you show the laser? Why didn't they show the laser?
How do you look at the original game and say, oh, let's change this to a generic crosshair?
I always felt a laser sight was a more immersive reticle than putting a white dot in the middle of the screen. You can unlock laser sights later, but you can only equip them to certain guns.
You only get it on 2 weapons, fellas. That's it? That's it?
Hey, this doesn't fit on the Red 9.
So the guy that told me the lasers in the game lied to me.
It's all in there.
That won't cover it, I'm afraid.
You have to do side quests to unlock the fucking laser.
I have to play the game to unlock things in the game? What? What the fuck? Alright, the yellow paint is a kind of funny meme, sure, but a lot of people severely underestimate how many people like play games and just know where things are. I've seen reviewers get lost on a lot of sections. I've seen a lot of people get lost on a lot of sections. And the idea that yellow paint somehow makes the game less fun to play because it's telling you where to go is some type of damning thing. Gaming has just grew in popularity. A lot more people play games. A lot more people play the games. A lot of people... Hold on, sorry. A lot of people play the games. A lot of people play games. Billions upon billions of people. The gaming community has grown into like a massive beast in the industry. So a lot more people play the games. They aren't as savvy at exploring the games as you guys, because a lot of you guys are special gamers that know where everything is, and I'm one of those gamers. I just know where things are. So yellow paint being there, I don't get how. I never got that fucking like complaint. It doesn't matter. If you know where to go, bro, congrats. If you're good at the design and you can read between the lines, congratulations. Thank you. But it's just a nothing complaint. And I get it. The yellow paint is kind of funny, but I don't, it's just silly. It's a silly thing to complain about. Yeah. About the laser sight, complaining, I have to do side quests to get the laser sight. Yeah, just play the fucking game or you don't get it. You don't have to get it, bro. Just use the normal reticle. I don't think that's like a damning thing. I personally don't think it's a damning thing. Maybe to you guys, like, I thought it's pretty cool because, you know, Dead Space implemented it, but it's not a shit game because it's not there.
Laser? I mean, it's a Ubisoft game.
Hey, why not go through that area again and kill 3 rats?
Killing 3 rats? Seriously, guys?
Kill 3 rats, sell 3 vipers, kill another 3 rats, shoot some more blue medallions.
And of course, the way it works...
You shot blue medallions in the original game, you fucking asshole. Like, these are some things you did in the original game. I'm genuinely confused. You can backtrack in the original game with Ashley to unlock things. Like, there are side things you can do in the original game. Now, these are numbered side quests that you can do for requests to get spin-offs, to get upgrades and shit. Why is that a bad thing? You want more games. You want more gameplay. There's more shit to, like, what the fuck? I feel like I'm going insane now. It's more gameplay. And then the beautiful thing about these side quests is, right? You don't have to do them. Oh, shit. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to do it. You do not have to do it. You don't have to do them. You do not have to do them. You don't have to. You don't have to. The medallions have existed, I think, in 4, 5, and 6. You don't have to do them. You don't have to do them. You do not have to do them.
Like with all remakes, is that Capcom have taken the level design of Resident Evil 4 and stretch it out.
It's more.
Okay, so the original complaint, like 20 minutes ago, was the levels are less condensed. Or no, the levels are super linear, condensed, and they don't feel like areas you can explore. But now, this new complaint, 20 minutes later, is these levels are stretched out. What the fuck is going on? You cannot stay consistent in your own video, King. Figure that out. Fix that. What does that mean then? You just contradicted yourself. What does that mean? Wait, I thought you said the levels are too linear. Now they're too they're stressed out. What what are you talking about? Isn't that what you just complained about 20 fucking minutes ago? Isn't that what you said? What?
Open and explorable than before, but even if you mainline it, it doesn't feel as tight.
It feels like I'm just doing errands around the lake.
I feel like there needs to be a little more sense of urgency when it comes to that.
What's your sit rep?
President's daughter, Baby Eagle.
What is this now?
You don't have to do any of that stuff.
Oh, dear Lord.
The pacing in the original game is incredible. It's one of the highlights of that experience. You can't fuck with that.
Many of these areas seem to be gated off, but can be accessed by solving small puzzles.
That's just going to make the extension of this game, you know, padded garbage.
Shit.
Padded garbage.
Hey, am I tripping? Where's all my stuff?
Pull the first switch, pull the second switch up top, drop down, go through the door, activate the next switch, go through the door.
When Leon gets knocked out, and you go into the valley, you have to get two different sides, combine them to open the door to get to that valley. That's a padded time in the OG. There are many areas. There's a second area where you have to shoot 2 crates and have them fall, or 3 crates and have them fall into the water to get a mask to go into the next area. That's another padded time. You guys are doing the same thing. In one of the other areas, you have to go on the lift. You have to ride that entire lift, kill every enemy, because if you don't, there's a good chance they're going to kill you. That's another padded area in the OG. It's the same thing. Before you get to the castle, there's a truck guy you have to snipe to make sure you get out of that. The entire cannonball section, got to get out. Like, what do you mean? Those areas have always existed. The OG, the first room you get to after the cannonball, you got to switch the knives and you have to switch the swords and fight enemies. That's another padded area. Before you make it into the main castle, you have to diverge into a separate path, walk into a path, kill a couple enemies, get a key, more enemies come in, and then get out. And that's another padded time. What are you talking about? Now I want to ask, have these guys played the original game? Because there is an entire separate lava section you have to ride on. Leon tells Ashley to wait there. Ride on a fucking like spin wheel. Shoot 3 like fucking dragon, like people blowing fire out of a mechanical dragon. But I'm sorry, you know, this game doesn't have the OG didn't have campiness, and the new one, to be serious. And then lava room, pick that shit up, leave for the king goblet. But that's not a like, what are you talking about? I know all of this shit from memory. Hello? Like, Only thing I disliked in the remake was the maze. I think some of the things had added extra things just to make them a little bit more interesting, and the maze was one of them. Like, I don't really like the maze in the remake. But this idea that RE4 Remake was the first Resident Evil to have padded out sections? No, it's not. Nope. They've always been like that. That's how they played.
Activate the next switch, go through the door, activate this switch.
I'm not gonna lie, this game is dragging.
You have those forced in-game cutscenes and Leon starts moving really fucking slow, or you gotta squeeze through this thing, or you gotta like move that thing like an RE2 remake.
This is not
Black
load
Hokage,
screen.
though.
You think this is a load screen?
You got it? Sorry. I'm counting on you.
Can we just go?
It's open.
I owe you one.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Is this
What are you frustrated for? Where are you in a rush to go? Oh my god, can we go? Nigga, you are going. Where, like, oh my god. What are you talking about?
It's like a fucking section. It is forced. Walk in chat. Load screen. I love you, Ashley section. Damn it. You can't skip it. You're gonna take out the container boss and you're gonna put this shit in, dude?
That's not our policy. You have to order something from the lunch menu.
I don't want lunch.
Literally before this part, you fight through War Room. And I think that's also called the War Room, I forgot, with the lasers. And then literally before that, you fight Krauser. So what the fuck are you, like, what is that?
Want breakfast. Yeah, well, hey, I'm really sorry.
It's one of my favorite parts of the entire game, having to rush through this small, cramped collection of cages while the clock is ticking.
And also, this is still a puzzle you have to do. It's still a puzzle. You have to walk around the little maze thing, dodge U3, press the button, and try to walk around back. And sometimes, like there's 2 buttons, I believe, on some of these. That's also a padded thing. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
It was a fucking terrifying sequence, and that challenged your head a little bit because you had to figure out where to go within that maze. And in addition to that, he was attacking, and in addition to that, you were on a timer. So you had 3 things going at once, and that's why they cut it. It was too difficult.
What are you talking about? So wait a minute. Wait a minute. Not only is the aiming hard in the new one, Leon is very sluggish in the new one. The inventory is very, like, you have the parry system. Enemies are a lot more aggressive. These are things that they all complain about. Just doesn't feel like Resident Evil, this, and that. But they cut this specific part because it was just too hard, and a modern gamer just couldn't handle it. When I just complained about like 8 fucking things that is very hard for me to do. The weapon sway is a lot hard. What are you talking about, bro?
I'm thinking to myself like, hey, did this part happen? And then it's like, it didn't happen. And I'm past it already. It seems like they've cut a lot out.
The stuff they've added doesn't begin to cover the worth of what we lost. You're creating a remake and it has less content than the original version that was almost 20 years old.
This is what I mean, dude. All they do is fucking remove shit. Why? It's a fucking remake, dude. Are you remaking the game? Or fucking what?
What? Come on, man. No rope?
There's a bunch of shit that is removed, and it's a continued tradition here with these
RE4 Remake is packed with so much details and little things. Some of the things they removed don't really matter. Like, I've never, like, if you want to see like the things, you can play the original
engine remakes.
For some reason, I do not see nobody talking about cut content in this game. To call out Resident Evil 3 Remake cut content and not call this game out for cut content?
Alright, okay. Alright. This scene, pointless. This scene, also pointless. This scene, pointless. Because you still play as Ashley. You guys get separated differently. This scene, pointless. All of these scenes are like mostly campy shit that people complain about. Like, not like, oh yeah, it's like, so I guess Leon quipping takes away from the horror. This scene, also pointless. This scene, like, most of these things are like little minute things they passed about Ashley's outfit. They're pissed about, yeah, they are. This scene, another thing. So you guys complain about, all right, so this is what I get. Padding. All right? You follow me? Padding. There was just a big complaint about how the levels in the remake stretch out the game. When you guys just point, there's like 8 fucking things here that just stretch out the game, that don't change anything. I feel like I'm losing my mind. And this still exists. This just got changed to the chapter change where you and Ashley get separated. It still exists. It's still a thing. It's just the blonde guy's in there and there's no end, like it's a cutscene. I don't. And what cutscene would this do? I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Can't help you. I can't help you.
You can't talk to him?
Thank you so much for following Over Losing Game, baby.
Like, if you want to talk about unrealistic, like the Salazar statue and how stupid that played out in the original, that doesn't make sense, right? And then you have this massive roller coaster underground. It is so unrealistic, it's not even fun.
They probably didn't do the Salazar statue for other reasons other than Realism King. But they threw this in for a nice little thing. Everybody loved the cart ride, and they just expanded on it. They made it cool. So if they say not realistic one more time, Mickey, I'm about to lose my cool.
Like, it actually just takes you out of the experience because it's like they want to try this grounded approach.
Which feels like an anticlimax. Increasingly a scripted, Uncharted style Sony set piece rather than an engaging death trap that you have to use real.
This is also a fucking set piece. It's also a set piece. That's not what that means. This is also a set piece. That's not, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's like, if anybody wants to get into gaming journalism, I want you guys to understand what some of these things mean. People, when I understand, I get there's a lot of misinformation, but a lot of people equate set piece to something that is like on the rails and automatically happening. This is a set piece. This that's happening right now is a set piece. It's a set piece. You will never see a minecart section like that in Resident Evil after you get past this section. That's a set piece. It's a set. I need gaming journalists to understand. I don't know if these actually are gaming journalists or whatever, but I need you guys to understand the descriptions and the meaning behind these words. Okay?
Ammo and reflexes to ward off with a horde of chainsaws and ganados dropping directly into your cart.
When they approached Capcom to release the original trilogy on PC, Capcom literally met them with, why would you want the old games when we have the superior remakes? And I'm just like, huh?
They didn't do the Resident Evil 4.
Can we please stop hiding the classic Resident Evil
I thought
title
they
call
did that
behind
in
the OG soundtrack swap?
in the
So
PlayStation
that's
controllers.
DLC Pay extra.
It's all in there.
A little while after the game was released, new DLC was added into the game in the form of purchasable, exclusive upgrade tickets for your weapons in the shop.
You have a ticket, do ya? Nice.
All the decent attaché cases that are actually worth jack shit are locked behind the deluxe edition DLC that I didn't buy.
Unlocks additional treasures that cannot be found with the various treasure maps obtainable in the game. Yo, that seems a little
OP.
Yeah.
Way to win.
It does point them out to you, but it also just creates new ones that didn't exist before that. That's the pay to win treasure. This one right here. Sapphire, boom. That's an extra 4K that I wouldn't normally have. Like, that's so lame.
The Mercenaries mode, a staple of the Resident Evil franchise, was also not included in the game at launch. We had to wait later for an update. When it finally did come out, it was unfinished, as Ada and Wesker were nowhere to be found, and there was one less stage.
Waterworld was a huge and elaborate stage, but the docks is just a small square. And this stage is also ripped from the story where Leon has his final battle with Sadler.
So much for no cut content.
I think my favorite thing in this whole fuck
DLC added stuff in the game, guys. It's garbage. It's garbage, y'all. It's trash, y'all. DLC added stuff in the game. The paywall stuff is absolutely dope, and plus it's a single player experience. The fucking mercenaries adding the village might be ripped from the story, bro. Guys, you don't get it. These levels, like the village levels and shit, but guys, you don't get it. The main village, that's ripped straight from the single player game, guys. Game sucks.
We had to wait later for an update. When it finally did come out, it was unfinished, as Ada and Wesker were nowhere to be found, and there was one less stage.
Waterworld was a huge and elaborate stage as his final battle with Sadler.
So much for no cut content.
I think my favorite thing in this whole fucking game is those bald dudes in the castle that like kidnap Ashley and go like They took those guys out, dude.
That's a part of the mood, the vibe, the atmosphere. You never not hear the fucking voices.
Notice that there's no interaction or any talk between the villagers.
The Plagas communicate telepathically. It's established in the remake. When Sadler talks to you telepathically, the Plaga is a hive mind. It is a hive mind. It's more well established in the remake that it's a hive mind. It is said multiple times, join us in this great union. The big boss talks to you telepathically. He literally talks to you telepathically. There's a cutscene when you first meet Ashley, the Lost Lands are escaping. That's not just for some, aura shit. You're peering into the hive mind. You know what I mean?
You gotta be kidding me.
And then the thing is, when the villagers do talk to each other during the gameplay, and you know who they talk to most of all? They talk to you. they talk, that whole, I like to say it, like, eat my ass, they're talking to you.
There's no vibe here. There's no atmosphere. You're getting nothing except gibberish now.
A big. They're talking Spanish, King. That's not gibberish. They're speaking Spanish. But wait, so you're mad that he's doing gibberish trying to get at you in the door, but you was just talking about the guy like laughing and doing all the weird like sound effects in the castle on the OG. There's no consistent theme going on here now.
Part of that game's charm is what the enemies say. The voice lines.
¡Por allí! ¡No dejes que se escape! Damn! Vayan por detrás. Why are these people? ¡Bloqueale el paso! What are they planning? Chainsaw. Shit. Te voy a matar. Te voy a matar.
No subtlety. Wait, what the fuck? What? Chainsaw? What the? Okay, bro.
This game is so sick, dude.
Leon?
Just stay close. ¡Agarradlo! ¡Cazadlo! ¡El forastero! ¡Ahí está! ¿Dónde está? ¡Agarradlo! ¡Seguid! ¡No dejéis que se escape! ¡Cuidado!
¿Dónde estás?
¡Gloria a las plagas! ¡Gloria a las plagas! ¡Gloria a las plagas! ¡Gloria a las... ¡Nos atraparemos! ¡Trágate esta! ¡Menudo granuja! ¡Eso duele!
Oh, that's an enemy laughing? Wait, guys. Enemies laughed only in the OG, guys. You guys didn't know that? Enemies are creepy that are laughing? That's only in the OG, guys. Wait. What? Wait a minute. Enemies laugh in the remake? What are you guys... What? What are you guys talking about? What are you guys talking about? Enemies laugh in the remake? Cubierto! Wait, he doesn't laugh before. Guys, but the OGs, only the OGs enemies talk. Wait.
Is there a single go hello in this entire section?
It's still there. They still have the same quotes, but it seemed less energetic.
Then when you do have to say it, you have to acknowledge. The only one I got mad at, that I was like, I wish this was said with more passion, was the Matalo or whatever. When he was like, when they were shooting the fucking, the flaming rocks or whatever the fuck.
¡Un forastero! ¡Ahí está! ¡Agarradlo! ¡Muerte!
Where's the energy in the performances? I mean, they're shouting in the original.
¡Un forastero! ¡Ahí está! ¡Agárrenlo!
So wait, now it's like, oh yeah, well, they're there, but it's different. This one. That's the only one I wanted.
You're not getting the delivery in these performances anymore.
But I didn't care.
Stranger, obey. Obey the voice of our Lord.
The blood has accepted the gift.
These characters sound like a parody of their former self.
What? I have a lot of opinions on people when they talk about voice acting. I am an actor now, as most of you know. So I'm going to say this very kindly. When you guys say these things, I really want to know what you guys are talking about. And not, oh, what the fuck you, I mean, like, I want you guys to be able to break it down to me. Because I'm in the industry, and when you guys say these things, you're a voice actor. Yeah, I'm an actor. I'm a voice actor. Same, like, I'm doing both. But when you guys say these things, it sounds like a parody. How? What does that mean? They sound like a parody. What does that entail? What does the parody act like?
The blood has accepted the gift.
These characters sound like a parody of their former self.
The graveliness of it sounds like a put-on, like someone doing an impression.
Long time no see, rookie. The game. It is me, Triple H.
Wait a minute. So you think this is a parody, right? But Krauser, the Thank you.
Dispose of this swine while you're at it.
Consider it done.
This isn't a parody.
Krauser. I died in a crash 2 years ago. Is that what they told you? You're the one who kidnapped Ashley. You got John quick, as expected. After all, you and I both know where we come from.
This isn't a parody.
What do you want? The sample Sadler developed, that's all.
This isn't a parody.
Leave Ashley out of this. Oh, I needed her to buy Sadler's trust in me. Like you, I'm American.
That's not a I am losing my mind. I love videos like this.
I'm here to fuck you up. Oh, rookie. Rookie.
I don't think she does that bad of a job. I mean, she doesn't do that bad of a job. She's cool.
Don't worry, Leon. First time.
She sounds awful, dude. Wow.
Pull yourself together, Luis.
Her voice,
Make more. You know how, just do it.
I don't know what they were thinking.
Sometimes some actors totally like fuck up their auditions, but if I feel the vibe is right and I can work with them, I'll go for that one rather than someone who did a perfect read, but I can feel like he's an asshole or she's.
Yeah, that's how auditions work. That is how auditions work, yes. If the director doesn't like you or the vibe is off, it's not going to work well because you guys aren't going to work together. Performances are a team effort. Okay? This isn't a damning thing like to say or do, or whatever. But I loved how he added did not work on RE2 Remake because RE2 Remake, you know, perfect game too. Surely the guy who didn't work on the RE2 Remake, he has nothing to do, you know what I'm saying? Hold on. You know, so many things, right? He didn't work on this, so that means every voice line in RE2 is great, right?
There are pharmaceutical companies secretly making bioweapons. They have a virus. It turns people into indestructible monsters.
That explains the horrible things I've seen.
Oh, okay. So, again, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, respectfully. Let's keep going. Hey man, sometimes people, that's literally the audition process. The director, the casting directors, all of those people have to like you. Some auditions are bad and you still get picked. Some auditions are really good and you don't get picked. That's just how it is. It's a legendary line, but I'm trying to say, like, people are equating, like, they put it in the little parentheses, did not work in order to remake. Come on, bro.
He's an asshole.
Capcom keeps going the cheapest route possible for the English voiceover. And you might be wondering, well, how do you know this? It's because the old voice actress of Claire Redfield, Allison Court, she actually did an interview with a YouTube channel called Residents of Evil, where she talked about this whole process.
Were you already in the union back there? And when did the union come about?
I was union. I've always been union.
You always, so, since the very beginning.
So all of these fans who are like, well, it was your fault for joining a union and demanding more money. It's like, guys, get a grip.
Mr. Kennedy. This George Washington looking fuck is not cool. He doesn't give me this fucking awesome vibe like in the original where he was like, you know, he has that little laugh before you meet him and it gives it.
He doesn't have a vibe, guy. He doesn't have aura, so he sucks.
So the cheapest route.
He sucks, guys. Wait.
Asshole or she's an asshole.
Capcom keeps going the cheapest route possible for the English voiceover. And you might be wondering, well, how do you...
Game is going non-union. Most of this, I think the Mega Man or the Mega Man thing is true, but Capcom isn't just picking people that aren't in the union just to save money. There are a myriad of reasons. And because if that was an honest case, a lot of the actors that return as the mainline characters would not return ever. Union and non-union contracts are all very different. There are a ton of reasons as to why. Union contracts, I think for voice acting too, this is for video games. You obviously make a little bit more money. I don't think you get residuals, and I think it's like a one and done thing. Like have your voice credits and stuff like that. Non-union is make a little bit less money, no residuals, still get voice credits. It's the same thing. Like there are non-union and union actors on every project. Resident Evil 2 Remake claims an important feature as the game is going non-union. That doesn't make any sense. What does that mean? To get the entirety of the game is non-union? I bet, man.
You know this. It's because the old voice actress of Claire Redfield, Allison Court, she actually did
Mr. Kennedy, Mr.
You can not line a voice, but to pretend that somehow they're not dynamic and shit like that. Like those are just words. You're just saying things now.
This George Washington looking fuck is not cool. He doesn't give me this
He's not
fucking
cool, guys.
awesome vibe like in the original, where he was like, you know, he has that little laugh before you meet him and it marinates.
Leon doesn't even meet Sadler until near the end of the game, and he only meets with Salazar 3 times before the boss fight with him. This causes Leon, Salazar, and Sadler all to suffer as characters because Leon isn't in communications with them throughout the game.
When he's beaten, I almost thought that something was missing.
And that's the entire game. Like, these villains don't feel like villains and shit.
You'll face severe consequences. I have absolute control.
In the original, whenever he had a monologue, I was like, dude, I love this guy so much, but I can't wait to kill him type of thing.
The Los Illuminados jack Leon's comms, and throughout the game, taunt him, make life generally difficult for him, and inject much-needed character moments into the game that expand on all 3 of these characters further.
Oh, Bruce, you're breaking up.
Is Salazar about to hijack it?
Damn it. So much for that.
I do miss the lines and the comms, but this cult in the middle of Spain is not hijacking his line either. So, to be fair, Luis is one of the scientists that worked on it, and he figured out how to get in Leon's line. But still, I don't. There's still character moments that happen within the remake.
Maybe just jamming it. Okay, no hijack yet.
All you get is 50 seconds of Salazar talking through the castle's intercom, and that's it.
Stage is set for the final act.
Yeah.
All of it just reminds me of RE8 again. I'm sure you're getting tired of RE8, but it's true.
Oh, damn you.
One common issue throughout the remake with bosses was the lack of seeing the boss transformations. Something that add to that shit just got real factor gets stripped away.
It just cuts into a cutscene and then you just see the reveal. Even though in the original, you can see the transformation.
The problem is in a remake is that every transformation is hidden from the player or shown way too close or cut up in the screen so you can't see it.
You literally see the transformation of Crowd's right here.
The problem is in a remake is that every transformation is hidden from the player or shown way too close or cut up in the screen so you can't see it. In the original, you absolutely will see the transformations and it has a horror feeling into it.
Sadler getting the bullets out of him in Resident Evil 4 OG actually presented with a bit more intimidation, as there was a sense of dread instilled by not knowing what he was doing. There is nothing like that here.
The cinematography alone in the original.
The sense of dread was him absolutely mind controlling Leon in that moment and about to strip him of his humanity. That was the sense of dread this time around, rather than him chest pressing Leon, which is both still good cutscenes in an OG and a remake respectively. But the sense of dread was him almost taking over Leon right before you just showed that cutscene, the specific moment you did not like. So yeah.
The game is just like light years ahead of this game, but no one cares. No one cares about where the camera's placed. No one cares about the performances. No one cares about anything.
That's an ignorant ass take too. Nobody cares about the performances, where the camera's placed. That's all still in the remake. Gamers don't know how things work. So when something is different or something they're not used to or not enough or not campy enough, they equate it to it being bad. And I think that that's the main issue I'm having. A lot of these guys are just saying takes. They don't know how, like, what the process is like. They don't know what the work's put into it. They don't know how voice acting works. They don't know how the hiring works. They don't know anything about this shit, but yet they're speaking on it as if they do. And that's kind of annoying. Thank you so much, AVE, for following. Welcome to this game, Aveen.
We spent a lot of time and effort in making the total finished product, especially the cutscenes, where new enemies are introduced, and that really comes out in the camera work.
No. He just comes out of the door? Where's the build-up?
And I'm not saying this is literal shit, but it's certainly, in my opinion, is not a fucking 10 out of 10.
That night came the honeymoon.
Resident Evil 4 Remake is one of the best games I've played in my life.
Capcom has made essentially a perfect video game. I think it's one of the best games ever.
Resident Evil 4 Remake might be the best video game remake ever made.
I think this is just how you perfect a remake. This is how you remake a game.
This may very well be one of the best games Capcom has ever made.
It might very well be the most perfect horror action game I ever played.
Resident Evil 4 Remake is a new bar, delivering not only a fantastic remake, but one of the best survival horror games ever, one of the best third-person action games ever, and one of the best video games ever, full stop.
This is the third highest Resident Evil score of all time. This right now is a 93 based off 90 critic reviews.
Capcom gets a lot of praise for their remakes, but still not enough.
This remake, I think, is 20 times better than the original. It's 100 times better. I'll never touch the original again.
This game is dang near perfect.
Rebuilt, refined, and realized to the full limits of its enormous potential.
Final score, 10 out of 10.
They remade a game, and they fucking honored it. They took RE4, they respected everything about it, and it's just as good or better, in my opinion. And yeah, the Soul versus Soulless can eat my ass out with a spoon. How about thime apples?
Crowbcat darkened the audio levels of the RE4 Remake! I knew something was off when I watched this video.
And he did turn down the ambient sound.
Holy shit. Hold on. Me. Hey. Hey, what's up? I'm in a Crowbcat video. Anyways.
He did factually do that.
Turn the volume up, pendejo. Should I do that in-game? Audio. Oh, it's already maximum. All right, I agree with you. So I'm gonna turn it up. I mean, it's already, I'll just put it on 100.
How far could he have gone?
Give me also 1 second. I'm gonna pause. I want to turn up the audio slightly. It feels, oh, I can't.
You should just boost, just put the master volume at the highest right now, because people are still saying it's a little quiet, but it got better.
I've made it.
It's
all the way.
Oh, it's already. Oh, okay, great.
There's sound
Fuck being on TV, Times Square. No.
Yeah, you could put.
I'm in a Crowbcat hate video.
The game volume needs to be turned up. Let me know. It might be a little low compared to Fatal Frame. Let me look in the game menu. Actually, that may be better. Is everything jacked? Yeah, it is.
Is the game audio low? Game audio's low? Is it?
I swear to God, I said that like an hour into that video.
We've been adjusting.
That motherfucker Crowby watched.
Some people are saying it sounds.
I think I said that like 30 minutes into my video. That motherfucker watched 30 minutes into my video, mad as shit. Well, Crowby, now I'm 39 minutes into yours, mad as shit.
Low?
So we're even now.
Slightly low.
Volume's a little low. Well, it's all the way up.
How's the volume? I feel like the game's a little quiet.
Audio's kind of quiet.
Let's go to audio. Okay, game volume too low. Got it.
It's a bit quiet. Game's a little low. Make it a little louder.
I upped the game volume by 5 decibels. Let me know if I need to do more.
The game audio is maxed out. I can't turn it up any higher. I could check in game. Yeah, let me see if I can raise up the volume. Audio, nope. Okay,
He
so I have
saved
it
this
as
for this
loud as it
one
can be.
moment.
It's just quiet, guys.
This is his smoking gun, y'all.
I even had to raise up my goddamn TV.
Every other thing I said in that video, there are, you know, every critique about that video, there are like 1,000 critiques, like multiple people made about those videos. And he was like, wait a minute. He's like, I'm getting cooked. I'm gonna strawman this. I'm gonna, something's coming out of this. Hold on.
This game is actually quite
I'm leaving here with something. Hold on.
So the wind is down here, but then when there's the gunshot, that's right up at the top.
All over social media, I just saw post after post after post.
The comment section
Game
under this
already
video
low.
is
Right. You're so right.
pretty
Refund it.
ugly,
Exactly.
to put it lightly.
Resident Evil 4 Remake is a masterpiece. You are worsening the gaming culture.
He changed the title of the video.
All right, so he is mad. He's mad. He's upset. He's mad. He's mad. Oh shit.
He has no integrity.
He's a little. I get it now. He's upset. He's generally upset about this video. Okay. Okay.
I'm disappointed in Crowbcat. He could have gone after the other shitty buggy games everyone else already covered. But he instead dared to cover the peakiest peak that is Resident Evil 4 Remake. United.
Yeah.
God, you are just the most unlikable, angry old man I've ever seen.
You're sitting here daydreaming about your old-ass PS2 game while being angry about something that's almost universally loved.
A lot of people really like remakes, not because they're that interested in the artistic discussion of it all, but because it becomes a social event,
The artistic discussion of it all. Crowbcat, I will send you my firstborn child if you're honestly very serious. I will send everybody who, like every journalist or whatever reviewed this game in this video, the artistic discussion of it all, if you guys can actually tell me what that means. If anybody in this video can just tell me what the artistic discussion of it all means. A lot of people on Twitter, YouTube, tend to say phrases that they don't know. Like, what they don't know what that phrase means. They don't have any. It's just the duality of every. Like, I love being increasingly verbose to be annoying on the internet as much as the next guy, but I also love knowing the meaning of certain phrases. The artistic discussion of it all. What does that mean, Kobe Bryant? What are you talking about? That doesn't mean anything. Maybe the artistic discussion was just the friends we made along the way. Yo, if we could just talk about the artistic discussion of it all, we can. I invite anybody who is in this video, who's had so many things to say, blah, 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 because it's okay to have critiques. It's okay to not like something. I'm not, like, I don't give a fuck if you don't like, bro, like, I don't like the second half of Resident Evil 9 that much. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to not like stuff. People in the community can accept that. But I think it becomes an issue when people start saying things that have no ground to stand on. The artistic discussion of it all. What does that mean? I invite anybody, if they really want to have a conversation about that, to a like an actual just speak, a back and forth. What does the artistic discussion of it all mean? What does that mean? Do you want to talk about the art direction, the game development, the reuse of the reuse of the assets, reusing assets in different games? Does that change the art? Does that change how you view a game by how many assets they have to reuse to create something? Because it's still a whole ass game. They didn't take the village from RE8 and replant it in RE4 Remake. Maybe the voice lines, you're going to talk about the voice work. You're going to talk about the scenes and how they build that, how they build the environment. Maybe the music about the things. What do you like about the music? What do you not like about the music? What about Leon's redesign? What about the redesign of Luis? What about the redesign of the enemies? What does the artistic discussion of it all mean? You don't know what that means. A lot of people don't know what that means. And that's fine. But that doesn't make any sense. That's like me saying, all right, I'll give you a good example. You show me one of your favorite movies of all time, and I'm like, it's kind of, it's not my cup of tea, blah, blah, blah. Oh, why? You know, I just feel like action movies nowadays are just a big spectacle for everybody online to talk about it, and nobody wants to talk about the artistic discussion of it all. Of what? What does that mean? A game has an amalgamation of hundreds of thousands of things going on all at once. What is the artistic discussion of it all? What does that mean? I like this painting of the Mona Lisa, but I just think everybody comes down to Paris or France, whatever the fuck, just to view it and take pictures, just to say just to post on Instagram, just to say they've been there. They don't want to talk about the artistic discussion of it all. You get where I'm coming from? What does that mean? Oh, okay. So what do you want to say about it then? Since you're talking about how everybody does this and you want to get down, I'm all ears. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It's something people say to try to feel superior about something. It doesn't mean anything. It's an empty filler word that people like to throw around to make their bias or their review a little bit more, you know, digestible. That's just what it means. The artistic discussion of everything. That doesn't mean it's so vague and so generalized to the point where just enough people won't read into what you're saying, so they won't challenge you on it. It's what people do when they're talking, when they want to argue, and instead of like talking about like facts and shit, they'll be like, well, everybody agrees with me. Like even Jeremy agrees with me, and Jeremy's your best friend. So if he agrees with me, that means you and him share the idea of, you know, what I'm talking about. It's an example of that. That's just what that means. It's a nothing thing to say. That shit like that annoys me to no end, but whatever.
Experience.
It really does feel like people really are putting Capcom specifically on a pedestal, right? They really are pretending these Resident Evil remakes are some of the best games ever made.
And, you know, the truth of the matter is that a lot of people haven't played the original. A lot of, I mean, unless you're a boomer. That's just the reality of it.
Are you using Steam charts?
The situation.
Are you using Steam charts to talk about the popularity of RE4? I am about There is no way you unironically use Steam charts. My cortisol level is spiking, yo. My cortisol level is spiking. Who knew a game that came out 20 plus years ago isn't going to be doing well on the Steam charts? A game that every other game since 2005 has copied off of. A game so immensely popular, the remake is one of the best-selling horror games of all time. Who knew that? Resident Evil 4, the original, is one of the most iconic games of all time. You can say a lot of kids that are growing up now haven't played it, but you're literally just statistically picking things that kind of show on your side. But if you want to be honest and you want to peel over this veil of pseudo-intellectualism you want to go through, Resident Evil 4 is one of the most iconic horror games of all time. It's the reason why the remake even exists. It's the reason why games like the new God of War, Dead Space, fucking Last of Us, Gears of War, every over-the-shoulder game that's existed since then is around. The QuickTime events you see? Why are you using Steam charts? What do you like? What? Am I like, guys, am I being too harsh on, like, am I being too harsh? Like, I'm trying to figure out, I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm just being too harsh. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm trying to be I'm trying to be reasonable about this whole thing. But this is just so fucking stupid. I'm sorry.
Most people haven't played the original, and they're not going to go back to it.
I haven't played the original.
I never played the original.
Didn't play the original.
I never played the original.
Didn't play the original. I didn't play the original.
Congratulations to the 10 content creators that you showed on the screen, because that means that everybody in the fucking planet has never played the original RE4. That's just what that means. Congratulations to the 10 content creators. That just means they've never played the original. Okay, 10 million unit sales.
It's time to
it's the
lower this
remake.
one 6 feet
That's the
under.
only Resident game. Well, now it's gonna be RE9.
And say, well,
yeah,
it is what it is.
From now on, when I say
it's the fastest selling horror games, were not as popular back then when RE4 dropped, and yet it's still one of the most iconic horror games of all time. What are you guys talking about? What are you guys talking about? I can just pull up the OG sale numbers right here. It sold 13 million to 15.2 million copies across its numerous ports editions by 2025. And it was originally a GameCube exclusive, you dumb motherfucker. It came out for PS2, I think a year later. Like, what are you talking about? And plus, at the time, the game was an immediate hit. It's one of the best-selling games of all time for its time. It came out in 2005.
Resident Evil 4, now I have to say Resident Evil 4, the original, released on the GameCube.
It was cool, but forgettable.
Game of the year. And the winner is Resident Evil 4.
Accepting on behalf of Resident Evil 4 is producer Hiroyuki Kobayashi.
Congratulations.
That's what we live for.
We have to act now, and one of the things we're doing is making original games.
Baldur's Gate beat RE4 Remake in 2023, but that's because Baldur's Gate was the beast of a game. Baldur's Gate was a fucking amazing, phenomenal game. It's harder to win Game of the Year every year. RE4 Remake was still one of the best-selling games of the year. So was Baldur's Gate. But like, I think there's an issue growing where people think just because they remember something 20 years ago that they are all of a sudden like better than other people, which is chill. Do your own thing and have your own, like, bro, have your way with it. This nigga sat down, made a video 3 years later after the fact because he was so upset that people were upset at the fact that they didn't just like his take of him calling a remake soulless. And yeah, bro, like, yeah, you can be salty about that shit, sure. It kind of started showing at the end of it though, which is kind of funny, but also still most of these takes are just easily refuted. You can have your opinion, do your thing, but you're not superior for not liking something. I appreciate Crowbcat because, you know, his videos are great, but also I just think a lot of them come from a place of ignorance. A lot of people just don't know anything. Like, a lot of people don't know the process of how things are made. So like they speak from a viewer mindset in the window. Like, to you guys, the painting of the Mona Lisa is just a painting that's existed for like hundreds of years. But to artists, maybe it's a lot more than that, is what I mean. Like, how did they do this, or what oil, or whatever. I'm saying the process needs to be a lot more seen rather than you're just watching it from the eyes of a person who probably doesn't know shit about shit and just saying things. The artistic discussion of everything. It's so easy to just talk like that when you don't know about anything, but you talk just broad enough to make it seem like, oh yeah, he knows what he's talking about. I know things. And it's so easy to do that once you start grabbing onto the thing we all love to hold on to, which is nostalgia. People love reminiscing about the past and being nostalgic about things and talking about the good old days. But if you guys ever seen The Wire, one of my favorite quotes is, well, that's the thing about the old days, is they're the old days. Or my second favorite quote is, you want things to be your way, but that's just not how things go. You want things to be one way, and there never are one way. Crowbcat wants people to understand that he views this game as soulless, and people do. But he just can't accept the fact that people don't care. People don't want to accept that opinion, not because it's true, but because a lot of what you said is based on your personal viewpoint of it. It's the reason why, instead of refuting every single other point in your video, you hardcore focused on one aspect, which is the sound design. Because you knew if you just waited long enough, got enough people, and collected enough clips like that, you can get a little bit more data to frame your viewpoint on. Not enough data for every other point, but just enough for the audio one, which is what people do when they don't have any more points to stand on. They kind of have to hyper focus on one thing and to be like, well, see, you guys, people also would complain about the audio. What about the 10 to 15 other things everybody were also saying in those videos? My video talking about your specific, all of your critiques. You don't want to talk about that. You didn't even bring up the Ashley upskirt thing. You had that in the original video. What about the Ashley upskirt thing? You didn't have that in this new video. You want to know why? Because just enough people said that shit was weird for you to be like, oh yeah. It made you, you didn't want to add that. That's the only thing you didn't add, by the way, in that video. I was waiting for that to pop up, but for some reason, it was never in this video. And those were critiques probably said by some of these same people. But why was that one omitted? It's very easy to pick up when somebody thinks they're smart enough to get away with like bullshitting and stuff like that. The audio thing, sure. Maybe the audio thing was correct. Yeah. But that's the only thing you hyper focused on. That's the only thing you refuted. That's the only rebuttal you had. So I think naming this remake as a product of its time is a silly thing, because if you want to be honest, since you want to bring up Steam chart numbers, if RE4 was so timeless, it would, and I'm saying this honestly, it would still have a lot of people on the Steam charts over the RE4 remake. Isn't that what timeless is? You know what? Let's go on the Steam charts right now. Counter-Strike. Is Counter-Strike a product of its time, guys? Because it's currently sitting at 800,000 players. I don't know. Dota 2. I don't know, guys. I think these are all just... Are these timeless games? Because there's more players playing it, right? That's what that means, right? On Steam, right? On the Steam charts. A one verified statistical source that you only posted on that video. Huh. Guys, hold on. Let me check real quick. I'm gonna look up Resident Evil 4. Current players, 18,000. Oh, it's just a product of its time, even though it came out like 4 years ago. Oh, 2,000 compared to the 18. Well, I don't know. It's can both games be timeless? No. There's no room for nuance, guys. Crowbcat said so. I think it's just a product of its time. I don't. All in all, guys, some of these reviews, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Leave all of that alone. At the end of the day, all we have to say is the artistic discussion of it all trumps everything, all right? The artistic discussion of it all trumps everything. This turned into instead of like a 40-minute reaction to like a 2-hour stream. I gotta leave, but nah, don't worry, Crimson. I'm about to leave too. I will be playing the new update tomorrow. I have to leave now. It's got late. This is a 2-hour stream. I gave the definition of the artistic discussion of it all. But you did? Arian, copy and pasted. Copy and pasted. I didn't read it. I was too busy. Hating. But yeah, I don't know how I'm on the phone. Well, re-give it if you can, Arian. But yeah, I find certain critiques like that. Maybe we don't see the vision mark. Maybe we don't. And great thing is, I'm not up. Okay, so artistic of all means conversations based on analysis centered around the artistic aspects, merits, or interpretations of a particular subject or event. It applies a focus on aesthetic qualities, creative choices, and artistic value or meaning behind something. Oh, nice. All right, but like you guys seen in Crowbcat's video, these are all money grabs. There was no care and time built into the environments. All of the voice lines sucked. Some of the voice lines said into it had no merit because Leon was quipping, even though he quips in all the cutscenes in the OG. You can't look up Ashley's skirt. Crowbcat, you put that in the original video. Even if you omit it in this one, you did put it in the original video, so enjoy that. Yeah, and the game's quiet. So I guess we can't talk about any of that stuff, guys. Crowbcat said so. This game was made with nothing but just cash in mind. It's just a product. It's not timeless. It'll never be. Alright, y'all. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Yeah, well, you know, that's just like, your opinion, man. That's basically Crowbcat got mad that people did not value his opinion enough to make it a fact, and that's what he's just upset about. So, you can enjoy that. Anyways, guys, I have to go. Love you guys all. Stay safe out there. This is gonna be a video? Yes, it's gonna be on the VOD channel. Peace, y'all, and please do not become pseudo-intellectuals in your future. It does not lead to anything good. Bye, guys.